Hey everyone, this is Julian from the Binary Lab, and in this video I want to talk about the importance of backtest and rehearsal for better trading. So if you want to improve your trading, um, you got to practice, okay? But one thing that you should do before you practice is to backtest and rehearse. It's part and parcel of it, okay? So, like for example, when you're studying for a test in high school, I'm not sure about in your country how it is, but in Singapore, like when we had our high school exams, they have something called the 10-year series, TYS, okay? And that basically collates the exam papers from the past 10 years so that you can go over it and, look through it and train on it. So sometimes, depending on the school that, that people go to in Singapore in high school, some may set easy test papers, exam papers, and some may set really tough ones. And without knowing what was set in the actual examinations, like in Singapore, we use the Cambridge GCE examinations. We do like the O-level test at the end of high school. So without looking at what's actually in the GCE O-level test, assuming that whatever your high school is giving you, if it's easy, you expect it to be easy as well. It may not be the case, all right? Or it could be easier or tougher than you expect. And without actually diving in, doing some back tests, you're never gonna know. So what is back test in trading? Um, Recently, when I was doing my training webinars for my forex group and my binary group, uh, for example, on binary group I do it on Tuesday, on for my forex group I do it on Thursdays, and unfortunately, like I have to reschedule yesterday's binary session because my dog actually fainted. He's 14 years old. He recently had he was on the edge of kidney failure, so I rushed him off to the vet. I mean, that's a story for a different video. It's already on my Facebook page. You can check it out if you want. But anyways, I'm gonna talk about uh, recently in a webinar for both of my trading groups. What I suggested that people should do is like whenever I teach a method, do your homework. What is doing your homework about? If you just learn a trading method, you should at least go through the last 500 bars. 500 bars, not 5, not 50 bars, 500 bars. Better yet, 1,000 bars. So if you're on a 1 minute chart, this means the last 500 minutes of chart. So that's actually the last 60 times, that's about 10, 9 hours. That's about 9 hours. 9 hours of data, all right? Better yet, 18 hours of data. And on top of that, I tell my students that when you just learn a method, all right, go through not just the last 500, 1,000 bars of data on the chart, but do that on at least 5 charts if you want to have a good understanding about it. And why is this good? Because, like, example, okay, some of you here watching this video, you may be in my group, some of you may not be in my trading group. But let's say if there's a method that you picked up from somewhere, could be my group, could be somewhere else, some forum, some site, whatever, could be some sucky ebook on ClickBank or ClickSure or something. Could be one of those get rich quick programs. But by the way, a lot of those stuff that sell for like 47 or 67 and 97 all BS crap. Uh, all those stuff doesn't work. FYI, you have, like, for some of you who have been just looking to join the Binary Lab. By the way, it's free. Okay, there's Binary Lab Basic, with free broker account opening. There's the Forex Learning Group. It's free broker account opening as well. Okay, so it's nothing to pay. You have to like deposit to trade anyways, so you're not spending any more money than you otherwise would. All right, and even if you have a trading account somewhere else, you can just simply move it and get free access to learn. Why not, right? But there's some people who, even though I set really low deposit minimums for my binary and forex groups, but it may be out of the budget for some people, and that's totally okay. I'm fine with it. Um, for these people, I just want to give you a word of advice. Okay, you're better off finding something on some forum than buying some stupid program that pops up on the back of your browser that sells you something like that the price goes down from 97 to 67 to 47 to 27 every time you click to close a page. Okay, those ones are BS. They're out to rip you off anyway, and you don't expect to make any money with those methods that ask you to double up when you lose and double up when you lose, or like oversimplify things. Okay, but let's say if you have a legit method, such as the methods that I teach in my groups, or if you have a legit method that you got from a forum that you see that a lot of people are having success with, well, there's some endorsement already, right? Then you go to your charts, the last 500 bars, the last 1,000 bars, test it out, and mark your entry points, mark your exit points. Keep a record of the statistics and get an idea of like how much are you winning, how much are you losing, if you were to trade this method on the last 500 bars, last 1,000 bars. And let's say, okay, binary is a little bit different ball game, because binary, depending on the broker we use, sometimes we do not get a fixed expiry. Like for example, in IQ option, there is no precise 1 minute. It's going to be a 1 minute and a bit, or sub 1 minute. It's basically next minute expiry. So you have to check on your charts, okay, and your charts will tell you the information. Okay, a lot of people ask me for this method, because by the way, if you can, in case you didn't know, different day, the expiry time that may be optimal may change, and no one can tell you that, not even me. The only source that can tell you that is the charts. So if you do your homework before you start, do your back testing and rehearsal. That's going to help you out a lot. Okay. So what is back testing again? You take the method that you have, look at the charts, and when you look at the win loss, and also when you're doing binary, note down that this trade would have won based on how many bars, would have lost based on how many bars. And from that data, you can average out, okay, from what I'm getting here on all these statistics, because the 500 bars, 1,000 bars that you went through, it's going to give you information. Let's say, right, in those number of bars that's passed by, maybe you're not going to get 500 setups. It's not going to be too intense, crazy. It's not going to be. It will never be that way. Well, you probably find 20, 30, 40, thereabouts. In fact, if you can find a setup every 20 bars, you consider it very lucky, because the market has its peaks and troughs, and there'll be times where it's dead and time is moving, and so when you go through the data, it's gonna tell you, like for that pair, that day, what is the best number of bars to take for expiry time. Today it could be 3. Tomorrow it could be 4. A day after it could be 10. Sometimes yesterday morning could be 10. This afternoon could be 5. The only way that you will find out is if you do that back testing and rehearsal. So when you get the data from looking through the past 1,000 bars, last 500 bars, okay, and this is standard, okay. If you don't have time to do 5 bars, you should just stick to one pair. Okay, by the way, for those people, okay, I see the comment. Thank you, Abdul, for the question. And could you share with me like which country you're from in Europe? Because I have some people in my group and they're saying that they're in Europe, but they do not see that feature showing up. Because the broker actually told me that it is it's available now in Europe, and so basically FX option. Okay, by the FX option is that even though it seems like 1 hour expiry, but you can close early as well. If there's a big movement, you can close early as well. And also, the return is not limited to sub 100%. I want to debunk a myth, because a lot of people think binary is evil, and I would say it used to be evil. Okay, it used to be evil when brokers did not allow you to early sell. It used to be evil when brokers give you sucky payout rate. For example, brokers used to give sucky payout rate like 65%, 60%, 55%, 70% payout for correctly predicted trade. How are you going to make money with that? It's going to be really, really difficult. Okay, but if you have a method that works, use a method that works. You're not doing freaking coin toss, right? If you do freaking coin toss, you could look through the past 500 bars, 1,000 bars, you can still get the same result. It's pointless. Okay, so take a legit method, test it out, and decide if that method is worth doing. And you can see from the back testing and rehearsal if it's working, how often is it working, what kind of expiry time, uh, how profitable would you be? Okay, maybe on a Euro USD you're gonna get 80% profitability based on yesterday's data. Based on yesterday's data, maybe you only be 60% profitable on Aussie JPY pair, which happens to be my favorite pair, by the way. But every pair has their best times and worst times. But by the way, that pair generally gets me a very high profitability. That's one tip for you. Okay, these are my two favorite pairs anyway: Aussie JPY, Euro USD. Uh, but apart from that, you have to test. It's not gonna be, uh, oh, all binaries I try will change direction at the last second. Uh, I get what you mean. I, you know, it must be an unregulated broker, and it sucks. Okay, IQ option, expert option, Olim trade. Never really seen that before, and but IQ option is the best in my opinion because sometimes if there's a price feed error, they actually they kind of restore the investment for that trade, and if the system goes down when let's say if I have an open trade, the system goes down, um, and usually when they put in new features, the system goes down quite a lot. And what they do is that they pay out full payout for the trade, so I think it's quite legit. um, so and then where was I? Okay, so after that, how do you rehearse? All right, so when you got this data that you found out from your back testing that okay, for today on Aussie JPY for instance, like for yesterday this strategy would be 80% profitable if I use 4 bars expiry. Then today I'm going to test it out. I'm going to test it out and see, like for the next, maybe for the first, I'm going to watch the markets for half an hour, and see the most recent half an hour. How will that work out? And if so, I dive in. I just trade it. And you know, when you backtest, another skill that you pick up as well is that, okay, and just try it out. Just try it out. Okay, just try it out. Because when you go back and forth on the chart, I guarantee you will find setups that you missed. You look through the chart, the same 500 bars, 3 different times. You will find trades that you missed out. I guarantee you that. And you will also see what trade setups are, like sometimes, like I was teaching my traders about pin bars recently, like which pin bars to trade, which pin bars not to trade. And the best way to find out really is, if you cannot recognize the wrong kind of pin bar, you recognize the wrong candle formation. Sorry, I mean you cannot recognize the correct candle formation. If you look at the history, you're gonna see what will generally work and what will generally not work, and it's gonna sharpen your eye to identify. Sometimes people will say that, oh, there are no setups, this method sucks, but did you do your homework? All right, so do your homework. Go through your back testing. If it works, let me know. Thanks would be great. Joining my group would be even better. Once again, for those of you who have been following Binary Lab channel, I thank you for that. I have Binary Lab Basic. It is free to join when you open a broker account with a minimum deposit that is specified on my site. It's usually like $250 or so. And for forex, it's 500 minimum. So you can actually just check that out. Some of you may not be ready right away, but you can apply these methods to any. You can apply backtesting and rehearsal to any legit method that you find out there. Like I said, I would recommend that you use my methods. But if it's not within your means to come in right now, then go on a legit forum. There are a lot of forums out there, and look at the feedbacks in general. Okay, if most people are happy with it, it's probably working at least 60+%. Okay, and that will be worth your time to do. Check it out on the charts. Don't bother asking around. What kind of win rates are you getting? Because not everyone is going to be doing it this way. Not everyone is going to rehearse. Not everyone is going to backtest, and not everyone is going to backtest and rehearse as well as you. So, once again, personal accountability. Okay, that's all I have for you in this video. Good trading. My battery is running out. Bye for now.